up, headbangers? How you doing? I'm Robb O'Day, and welcome to the Greasiest of all time. Today we're chilling with Raid out of Dallas. How you guys doing?
We're good. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Cheers. Why don't you introduce yourselves and tell us how the band got together?
I'm Randy, lead singer.
Eric, lead guitar.
Mark, bass.
John, lead drums.
We got together about 4 years ago. Me and these three numbskulls. We all went to high school together. And then now that we're old, fat, got a bunch of kids, decided to have a hobby since all the kids are growing up. Got together, been writing songs for 3 years, had about 8 songs. Randy came in about a year ago. Statue of Liberties was the first song that we ever wrote as a band, and that's the first song he put lyrics to, and it's been take off ever since.
It's our first single that we just put out. So
That's wicked. I know that you guys just put out a 8-song CD called the Alcohol of Fame. How was that experience?
First in a lifetime for me. These guys have helped me cross numerous things off of my wannabe rock star bucket list. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing experience for me.
It took longer than we thought it would, but it's out there.
I mean, all else fails is, you want to get down to the end. If you're happy with it, and then then it's easier to put out there and say, if people like it, great. If they don't, fuck them.
I think one of the things that we kind of had an advantage, we used COVID to our advantage. We were about ready to start playing shows last April, and that got postponed. And we already had, 6 or 7 songs that were kind of in the can. And we found a studio that we kind of, some friends own, and we holed up in there, and just woodshed and got the CD out. We did our very first show New Year's Eve as a band, and our CD came out a week later. So it was really kind of, it worked to our advantage, although it sucked. But we took all the, advantages we could to be ready for when it was over with.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think that's kind of happened with every band where COVID kicked them in the balls to the point where it was like, hey, we're either done or fuck it, let's just buckle down and write as much music as we can. So
yeah, I mean, I work from home, been working from home since all this started. So in between stuff I'm doing, I'll grab one of the millions of guitars that I have, and I'll just start ripping riffs.
How many?
I got 12.
That's not quite
but just start ripping riffs. Do a little recording on the song, send it to the guys, say, hey, what do you think about this? And then we probably got it. We've got enough stuff to, if we actually finished it all, we probably have about 3 CDs.
Yeah, that's usually how it is. You have a back catalog of songs that you're like, you love at one point and you kind of hate it 3-4 months down the road, and you're like, all right, we're never playing that again, but we're recording eventually.
Yeah, we've had a few that sounded cool when we were jamming it. Come back a month and a half later and go, what the hell is this? We thought this was cool.
The work in progress file is pretty full.
78 songs.
Well, I mean, that's a hell of a list to pump out. So
Maybe that's
right, then you can just merge which ones you like, and you're like, fuck it, we're just gonna have
It's a thing that we do when we're just kind of fucking around. Man, somebody roll tape on that shit, and then we listen to it later, and now that sucks. Or whatever.
We could tweak
or
it.
we build on it.
Yeah, it's that's the benefit of 2020, 2021. The music industry is definitely from your house.
Yeah.
It makes things a lot nicer than having to go spend thousands of dollars in a studio and worry about tape.
Another thing we tried doing is, it's like, I read a long time ago from a Pantera interview. Bill was talking about how they write. It's like you come up with the money riff and then you kind of build around that. And that's basically been our formula as well. Just, you find that one good riff and then build it.
Yeah, it's not conscious thing. That's just how it's happened.
Yeah, and the band definitely has the easy part when that aspect happens, because it just kind of flows.
Right.
And then us as vocalists are like, shit, if we write something that just is terrible, like the song just goes downhill real quick.
He's been so far, though. Everything he's done is absolutely amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, it definitely pushes you as an artist to write what break better every time, push yourself, learn new things. And I spent I spent a year doing new vocal techniques over the past year, learning all different types of things. So
Awesome. Cool.
And another thing we try to do is, it's like, some bands is like, oh, we're so different. No, you ain't. You're not.
Mhm.
And then what we're just doing is like, at this point, why try to recreate the wheel? Just take, whatever influences that come in that might come out of your fingers, just let it roll. And if it sounds too much like something, I might want to alter it or trash it. But I mean, if it's got a feel of something, but it doesn't sound like something that sounds great, then go with it. Just let your influences go out.
yeah,
I mean, why be ashamed of being, influenced by Pantera, Suicidal Tendencies, Exodus, Motorhead,
We just do music that feels good to us. And so far, we've been fortunate. Everybody else seems to really like what we're doing. We don't constrain ourselves to a specific genre, subgenre, sub-subgenre, any of that crap. We just do what feels good when we're doing it.
Well, the most important thing is we communicate. Mostly.
This guy
Got me.
He's lying.
No, but we do eventually.
Yeah.
After, throwing shit at each other and saying, fuck you, I'm leaving. I'm going home tonight.
taking my toys and go.
It all comes back around.
The next practice, one guy's like, you know what? You were right about that little thing that we're going to do there. And it just comes together that way. But, it's not always easy.
No, it's a family.
Not much fun.
Yeah,
It's a family that you make.
It's definitely a brotherhood between the four of us.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, some of the anger that comes out of the music is directly from all that. It's just that brotherly, oh my God, my older brother told me Santa Claus doesn't exist. That type of, fucking with everybody. So it's just, it's a fun brotherhood,
No, it's definitely fun being in a band. It's a unique experience that a lot of people don't understand. Like it's the whole reason we kind of created this, is kind of like get to know musicians from musicians' perspective, right? Because we're a different breed, 100%. There's people don't understand what it's like to have that telepathical connection to another band member.
Right.
It's intimate in a whole different way, because it's like a spiritual connection that you have with another band member. And when it's 5 people creating one thing, it can be so powerful, and it's almost like euphoric because you don't remember what the fuck you're doing, and you're just like, holy shit, what do we do?
Yep.
I mean, you got to look at a band like Rush. I mean, how big was their sound, in the early days, and it was just 3 guys,
right?
And that's the only thing you can do is just get your music tight, sounding big, and do what Lemmy said: raise your flag, see who salutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's a message that's kind of been forgotten in music since early days metal, is that the I don't give a fuck attitude is gone.
Right.
Now it's what is.
I mean, I've noticed that, it's like, people take sides, and it's like, dude, this is the metal community. Nobody gives a shit about your opinion about whatever, or who you fuck, or what you dress like, or you're a metalhead.
You're a metalhead.
It's all encompassing. The most powerful thing I saw was Metallica live here in Dallas. And James is up there on stage just going, you know what? We don't give a shit who you voted for. We don't give a shit who you fuck. We don't give a shit if you're trans, gay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We're one big metal family. Just get up here and have a great fucking time and jam. And, that's what rock and roll is. It's anti-establishment, anti-rules. Be a rebel,
Yeah, and that message is long gone at this point.
We're all 50 at or about 50. So when we were kids and getting into music properly, that was what metal and punk and all that hardcore was. Fuck the world. We do what we want. We're gonna rock out.
Yeah.
Everybody else can suck it.
We've held on to that for the most part.
Yeah, and it's you see which bands really have that. We don't care what people think. We're still just gonna go. It's our sound. We love it. That's all that matters. Versus the bands that shape themselves to be what will sell.
Or force it.
Yeah, it sounds very forced, and that's one thing that drives me nuts about certain bands nowadays is the
I mean, I see that now, like some of the heavier sounds, like, you know, it's like the new hair metal bands that we all hated growing up that all sounded alike. Now, you know, there's some of these newer bands that come out. They're kind of old rock and roll looking, but they kind of sound kind of Metallica-ish in, you know, some ways, or maybe, you know, I don't want to call out names because, you know, everybody's got their favorites, but, you know those bands that, you know, they probably much a cookie cutter of songs.
Yeah.
It is really hard to determine if it's this or that. You know?
Yeah, I know for sure. Go ahead.
No, I was saying they rob a riff here, they rob a riff there. It's like, oh man, I've heard that before.
Right.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Play some shit that nobody's ever heard.
Yeah, and that's definitely a hard thing to do now, because I think at this point, with the amount of notes and chords that there are, I think everything has been played to extents. But I think that's why
all the notes.
Yeah. And I think that's why it's progressed to what it is now, because you see bands like Animals as Leaders, where they don't have a vocalist, and it's just intricate metal that's almost like a symphony, but with guitars and drums.
Yeah, it's 3 guys, and it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and it's crazy, but that's also like taking music to that extent kind of ruins it. Yeah, you know what I mean? It kind of ruins it at the same time, though, because you don't get that solid.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's interesting to listen to, and it's really cool to, you know, you got to respect it. But I think we're at this point, you know, we're all getting slow. So, you know, bands like Down, COC, I Hate God, those type of bands, you know, the slower groove, doom,
chunky,
you know,
none
of us are skinny, so we got to get some of that fat sound going.
Yeah, no, and I totally get that.
He's skinny. He actually works his ass off.
My 80s hair metal scissor kick ain't what it used to be.
Well, it's funny because one thing that I did hear and like I felt from your music was that Pantera, early Pantera vibe, where it's just like brutal, greasy in your face metal, which is nice because you don't really hear that a lot anymore. Things have changed.
We're fortunate, and I got to say fortunate, because we all grew up here in Dallas, Texas, and, you know, Vinny and Dime weren't but a few years older than us. And, you know, we got to stand at the stages when those guys were forming, you know, back in the early days. And I won't say it rubbed off, but, you know, I mean, it's just kind of that Southern feel. You know, Rigor Mortis came out of Dallas, Power Trip, you know, rest in peace, Riley. But, you know, I mean, all those bands came out of here, the Toadies, you know, even more kind of mainstream, but still that hardcore edge. And, you know, like Eric said earlier, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We all have our influences, and we want those to show, but we don't want it to show so much that we look like we're imitating. We're trying to pay homage more, you know, and fly that flag still, but not have, you know, somebody go, man, they're, you know, because trust me, there's a lot of bands in Dallas that want to be Pantera, the next Pantera. And, you know, it kind of came naturally with some of the songs we wrote. You know, Statue of Liberties, you know, it's about really government corruption. And I wrote that song, the lyrics for it many years ago, but it seems like that subject always is around. You know, there's always some crooked politician digging in somebody's pocket. So, you know, a lot of the stuff we really try and, you know, we don't just throw some lyrics with some music. You know, we really try and think out what we're doing and you know, how the song's going to play out and make it a little different.
You can definitely tell the amount of influences that come into it, and it has a unique sound. Your vocals definitely remind me of that fucking brutal Phil vocals, and I love Phil. Like, Pantera is one of my favorite fucking bands. You know what I mean? Like when Dimebag died, I quite literally cried at school, bawling my eyes out. Like, it hit hard. And so it's a funny thing to never meet a member of a band, but be so close to them, connected. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was at the Marilyn Manson show here in Dallas the night he died, and I ran into him about a month earlier at a Queensrÿche show up in the VIP area, this place, and said hi, you know, talked to him, you know, did a shot with him, and then to come back a month later and be in the same building that I saw him at, seeing a crappy, this was, I guess, really cocaine year fucking Marilyn Manson. It was not a good show.
Mhm.
But anyways, watching that show, just I had a bad feeling. You know, you have one of those, you know, those little sixth sense type of things. Had that all night. Get home, heard on the radio something. I was going in the house, heard something on the radio about Pantera reunion. Get in the car, cruise up to Taco Hell, and then I hear Dime was shot in Ohio, and I was like, "What?
I mean,
fuck?"
as tragic as it is, and as much as it sucks, you couldn't go out in a more metal way.
No, still
Yeah.
shredding your guitar, like that's epic as fuck.
Out in the field on stage, that's metal as fuck. Come
Well,
on.
and think about Mike Scotia from Rigor Mortis, you know, and Ministry. I mean, he fucking died of a heart attack on stage at the Rail Club. Once again, dude, he was right there doing what he loved. It wasn't some car crash or drug overdose. It was doing what the fuck they wanted to do, and they were right there. And you know, that's their legacy.
Definitely be one of my two ways of dying.
Right.
I could kill your
I'll
ass
take
on
care of the
stage.
We can arrange that, my friend.
Like a hot blonde, you know.
I was in the 80s.
Well, not anymore.
So do you guys have any new music that you're working on right now or planning to release here soon, like EPs?
Planning to release eventually, but yes, definitely working on what we got.
We got 2 new songs.
We got 2 new songs, and we're talking about possibly, since we just released this one, and these are pretty hot songs. We've got a song, you know, like I said, we try and do meaningful lyrics and stuff. Mark and John are both veterans of our United States Navy and Air Force, respectively.
That's
and
awesome.
have seen some, you know, some shit.
Mhm.
And so we've got a song about PTSD that we're writing right now. It's called "Blood Is the Ink of Freedom," and it's pretty strong. It's, you know, I don't know, it's heavy, but I mean, it's pretty heavy lyrically. And I went to Mark and asked him. I said, "Man, you know, I got something kind of brewing. Can I talk to you about your experience? And would you mind if I wrote about this?" And, you know, and so I think we might put that out as a split single, and try and do something for like the Wounded Warriors Fund or something like that, you know, to try and.
I definitely think you guys should. That's wicked. I had a friend, one of my best friends was actually in the military, and he went across, came back, and I think of the 12 troops that he went with, I think like 8 of them had ended up committing suicide from PTSD after. So it's a wicked thing to kind of put out there, because most people don't understand what veterans deal with.
I was going to mention it when you mentioned earlier about it being a family. People on the outside looking in at the metal world, they don't get it. It's the same with the military.
Mm-hmm.
People on the outside looking in, they don't and cannot and will not ever get it. They will not ever see the things that we've seen, done the things we've done, or anything like that. And we trying to express that. Well, first of all, in the song to relate to people who are dealing with it and hopefully help them, and also to convey to the lay people who don't get it and can't get it, maybe give them a vibe of what it's about,
This is
what it's like to deal with.
This is a real thing. It's
And you're not alone.
it's affecting real families and real people.
It'd be cool
Right,
to
just
see
like-
you guys do a music video for that as well.
Yeah.
Like
Thinking
if you could get a bunch of veterans that you know and do something, that'd be really cool to see, because that's
But
I
even
mean, that
that's
would be the concept that people would love to see, you know.
Well, I'm finding that there's a lot of ex-servicemen and stuff that are not only in the metal and stuff, but are in the metal community that have, you know, some podcasts and some magazines and things. And, you know, we want to parlay with that. And, you know, like I said, it's not jumping on a bandwagon. It's just something that's really, really close. And, you know, if that's what we can glom onto, besides all the political landscape and all the other crap that's going on in the world right now, I mean, you know, then that's what we can do.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I definitely think that things are a little crazy right now. And I think that the media tends to push it a lot harder to the sides, you know. They make it seem like there's this huge division between people, but in reality, it's like the more I talk to people from the States, everyone wants the same thing. Everyone just wants to live happy, you know, write music and perform if you're in a band. So I don't
I
think
mean-
anywhere in the world is really different. Everyone's
No.
kind of, I think on our small level, when we're not political people, I think that's kind of like the consensus. We're all just the same humble people.
I think most of the time when you run into people, like last weekend we're jamming, and I know there's all different types of ideals that were in the room, but I mean, we're all just, all hanging out, having a good time, knocking a few back, talking to people. I think every CD we sold, we signed,
Mhm.
and no one gave a shit about
anything
other than what was happening at that moment.
Yeah,
And that's
music.
that being in the moment is the most important thing. And, just respecting people and be empathetic of whatever, but, still just, everybody's a human. So treat them like a human.
I think that, we were talking before, we jumped on about, what happened in Texas last week. We had this major snowstorm, unprecedented, haven't had anything like that in 70 years. And, the thing I saw is our government didn't step up, our local officials didn't, but on Facebook, on all these other platforms, people were asking, do you need anything? Do you need water? Do you need food? Do you need heat?
Mhm.
Come take a shower at my house. Not one person said, who did you vote for? Who did you, what's your religion or anything? They just said, my house is open if you need me. And these are complete strangers. And I think that, like you said, I think we all want to do that. And the mainstream media doesn't want that at all, because that's unity. And, with mass chaos, they can keep us separated and divided. But, we saw it last week firsthand. I didn't have electricity for a while, these water, this and that. My neighbors were over, helping me out. We were helping other people out. So, and it wasn't our government. I know that.
Mhm. Yeah, I think COVID has definitely shown a lot of the people that governments aren't there for them, especially at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys plan on doing after COVID, as soon as things are opened up again?
I was thinking about getting the flu.
Right? At this point, it seems I'd take anything over COVID.
Can gonorrhea make it come
I
back?
mean, honestly, right now, even with it going on, we're still booking shows. We're trying to get out there. We're talking about a Houston trip, cruise down to Houston, rent that place, maybe do Austin, San Antonio, rent those two places, and just have, get out, meet people, get some drunk on, and, rock their asses off, and just, show, bring back that old, Pantera, Slayer, Metallica, get into, come into a town, wreck it, and leave, that type of shit.
It's opening up down
Right.
here.
Yeah, we're open pretty much. Texas is
We
open.
played a few shows now with collaborative bands in the same building, and every show was fucking awesome.
Right.
I'm so
There's
envious right now.
a lot of talent here, man.
Yeah. No, we lost all our venues because of COVID, and
Where are you at?
I'm in BC, so we're
Oh,
just we're about 4 hours away from Vancouver.
Oh, okay. So you're
Yeah.
in Canada.
Yeah, we're in the Okanagan. We got
Okay,
good wine. That's about it.
BC
Used to live up in
kind
Michigan.
BC
Yeah.
kind bud.
BC kind of bud.
And right.
The music scene here has definitely died out, so we have to do it independently. We have to. It's weird. It'd be nice if things open up soon. I'd love to perform a show. Our last show was opening up for Bison, and we had a show scheduled to open up for I can't remember.
Must have been a big band, huh?
I'm blanking out.
It was
Stitched
super
Apart.
famous.
That's what they actually are, and that's the funny thing is I'm blanking out because I'm thinking of female singers going on. I'm trying to remember which band it is. It was Stitched Apart from California, and they opened up. No, go ahead.
Sounds like I'll need a road trip to Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, that'd be nice, right? Our guitar player's from Nottingham. He's in the UK right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
He's
because
all down.
yeah,
can't
he's
drive
way
home.
over there. No driving. He'll be back eventually, but it's nice because we can kind of promote on two aspects of the different
Right.
world. So it's been beneficial, that aspect, and we can always write and send back and forth. But his immigration didn't go through in time due to COVID. So yeah, it was a kind of a shitty situation, but we've made it work.
Yeah, he's illegal right now.
Yeah, we've been trying to deport him for
is.
years.
we got to send him back to Mexico.
Right.
We just doing illegal shit.
I hide my accent very well.
That's awesome.
So we, as I said, we kind of took advantage of COVID. We jumped on the bandwagon right when it came out. We did one night in our jam room. We just threw our phone on and we threw on a Facebook Live, and at last look, we were over 12,000 views on that, which, has obviously led to some new fans and stuff. But it was something that we never thought. We thought, maybe our wives and girlfriends and would maybe see it. But, it kind of took off, and we're hoping to do some video work, nothing like huge production, but we've got some ideas for a couple of our songs that, we're storyboarding right now to try and do something. So we're kind of just getting started. Like I said, COVID, we were ready out the gate and it kind of slowed us down, but we used the time to record, and now we're out playing shows and looking to do some videos and some different things like that. We've got some friends in some larger bands. As soon as they hit the road, we're looking to maybe do some support act for those guys just to get our name out there and let people know who we are. We're not looking to tour Japan anytime soon, but maybe. But we're looking, like I said, to be the best band that we can be, and hope that people can enjoy it.
Yeah, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, because we've always talked about, we got some free bands, like friends bands, and they say, we're gonna put you on the show, but you're gonna be first. And I was like, all right, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, set the
I'm
bar.
gonna get up on stage and make it. I'm not going out there to act like I want to try to kick everybody's ass. I just want it to be really hard to follow.
Yeah, that's what I always do. Set the bar, and then every other band's like, "Fuck, we can't let them go first again.
Yeah.
Never again."
Actually, literally happened.
Yeah,
But it was a badass show.
It was.
Yeah.
Everybody after us was on their fucking game, man.
Right, and that's like that's how you do it. You make it, and I think it's best when you open up for a wicked band that's like big, and you do that to them, and they're like, "Oh fuck, now we got to step up our game," and it brings them back to their like earlier days almost. You know what I mean? They're like rejuvenated.
Back to the whole community thing. We all help each other out, regardless whether you like it or not.
Man,
Yeah.
you play either first or second, and then you get to fucking watch everybody else drink.
Yeah, no,
How cool was that?
right?
Fuck yeah.
If there was anything you guys could change in the music industry, what do you think it would be?
the political aspect of picking a side. The political aspect of picking a side. Just leave it alone. This is music. Music is encompassing. It doesn't matter what genre of music it is. Music is meant to be encompassing and just reach out to you in certain ways. If you're depressed and it speaks to you, great. If you're angry and it speaks out to you, great. Whatever. Just the whole you should do this or you should vote for that. Fuck that. Just let
the bands make the money.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason in that having to hire promoters and all this other bullshit. The band can do it
these days more than ever.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? Everybody's sitting at home anyway, right? So
we all got Facebook.
Yeah, no, and you have to at this point. You have to kind of look at it as a business. I think I say that with every band that I talk about. It's just kind of you see which bands do it, and the ones that we interview are usually the ones who are willing to step out of their comfort zone to send us an email and be like, okay, check us out. Because most of the time we look at everyone. We have a huge list of submissions, and I'm trying to make it through like every single one. And then I get more and I get sidetracked, and I'm going to be, I smoke. My brain ain't always there.
That specifically, I want to throw a shout out to Randy. If it wasn't for Randy, we wouldn't be doing this right now. I would say a good 2/3 of the shit that we've accomplished would not have happened without Randy and his hard work.
He's our marketing manager / singer / promoter.
That's basically what I am too. Me and the guitar player and the bassist.
Oh no, he's a pro stripper.
That's my business. The sales marketing is just kind of what I've done my whole life. But I've been in bands my whole life, and as Mark mentioned, we're getting up there. We're getting close to 50 and stuff. But I said the other night, you guys, I said the other night, I said, man, if this would have happened 20 years ago, but 20 years ago, we didn't have the resources that we have now to get our music out there, to reach out to people like yourself that are supporting the communities for us. now more than ever, yeah, there's more music out there and more availability, and some of it is just shit, but we're taking full advantage of everything that we've got at our fingertips. And the bands that aren't, back in the old days, I was at Kinko's, pasting together flyers and going out and sticking them under windshields and taping them on poles and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And it's changed, but the having the web and being able to reach out to people in Canada, and we've got where Spotify just went up the other day. We've got a listener from Indonesia.
Right.
I'm like, who's that? Whose cousin was that?
And then we also have some internet radio or some radio station out of Rockingham or
Yeah,
UK.
Yeah.
They got a hold of I don't know if you probably sent it to them or
Statue of Liberties.
but they got a Statue of Liberties was going on.
Yeah,
There's
I'm pretty
radio-
sure they played us as well. They're a wicked group of people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then some internet radio station, Metal Addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys been
That's
with
these
him.
guys.
Oh, that's you.
That's you.
Okay.
There's a ton of people who have been helping and do
Yeah.
their own thing, and it's cool to see. Definitely, but I definitely know that things are flooded, and after COVID, it will definitely open up a bit, and not necessarily for shows, but I think a lot of the bands that didn't continue to do things won't have that drive, or they'll be way behind because it is a marketing aspect. You do have to go out and email people now.
Yeah, it
You
is
have
kind of
to-
cool. Big bands. I've seen the collaborations.
Mhm.
Different. A couple members from Anthrax, a couple members from another band. Get together and do some stuff like, like Scotty and Mr. Bungle and
Mhm.
some of the other stuff that I've seen. Those are things that are pretty cool because everybody's fucking bored. So
Yeah.
let's jam some tunes.
I think Charlie's played on drums for like 15 or 20 different little things, cover tunes or something.
Hell, he's been playing guitar, man. Motherfucker's good.
That's awesome. Is there anything you guys want to say to the viewers before we wrap up?
Thank you for all of your support if and when we get it. And
No, we really appreciate it, man. We hope to see you soon.
Jesus Christ.
Don't know if we'll make it
That's
to
not
Canada.
PTSD.
We'd love to. But guys, ever come to Dallas? We got open doors for you. And
Beds and everything.
And we'd like to come up there and jam y'all motherfuckers out too.
sure,
Oh yeah,
man.
that'd be awesome. That's kind of why we're doing this, is to build a community so bands can kind of like
Dude, to help
get to
build
know
your-
each other, right?
Come down here. We'll take you get some real Mexican food
Barbecue.
and barbecue.
1, 2 barbecue, like Dan used to say.
That's awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming on. I'll talk to you again soon.
Thank
Hey,
you.
thanks, Rob. Appreciate
All right,
it.
guys. Have a good night.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Thanks.
Hi everybody, this is my customer service voice. Thanks for checking out the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and fucking hit the bell, alright? So you can stay up to date on all the new episodes.